Well, good Tuesday morning to all of you out there. Thanks for waking up with us here on News 12 Brooklyn, where local matters. It is November 1st, if you can believe it. I'm Aisha McKenzie.
All right, start of the new month, right?
Crazy.
Clean slate, like I always say. Good morning, I'm Anthony Carlo. We got our top stories coming up in just a little bit, but first, why not check on the weather to see how November is welcoming us?
We have 2 more months left in the year. That is just like bizarre to me.
That's crazy to me. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Happy November.
Happy November.
Happy November.
Yeah, it feels like a fast year. We say that every year probably, but
Yeah.
it does feel that way.
It is a slow start to the morning with some areas of patchy fog, so definitely try to take it easy on the roads. We're seeing reduced visibility over parts of the area, especially along the Brooklyn Bridge. So if you're driving over there, definitely proceed with caution. We're still seeing areas of misty and drizzle, but those temperatures are mild, upper 50s, low 60s. So we are at least 7 to 9 degrees warmer than where we started yesterday. Yesterday, we were just in the low 50s, but definitely a milder start to the day. This is going to set the stage for these temperatures to get even warmer this afternoon. So 60 degrees in Coney Island, good morning to you. 60 in Park Slope and 60 in Brownsville, good morning to you as well. Winds are calm out of the southwest near 3 to 6 miles per hour. This is bringing in that warmer air mass, and we're not seeing much of any rain, just some areas of light drizzle, misty conditions. It looks like we're getting in between this drier air funneling in right now. A few light sprinkles will be possible in the next hour or so, but it's not looking to be like the heavy rain that we got overnight. Thankfully, that's behind us, and what we are expecting for the rest of today is just a mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures will be warming up to the upper 60s. I'll have more details in your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Breaking into our alert center, we're learning that a 26-year-old man was fatally shot in Crown Heights last night. I want you to take a look at this citizen video I've got going on here. Witnesses at the scene. It seems like a very chaotic scene. Multiple NYPD cars here. I'm actually going to take this video and put it on your screen so we can go over some of the details here. Police say this happened just after 2 a.m. this morning in front of 212 Crown Street. We're told that 26-year-old man was shot in the head. Again, he was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Now, police tell us the suspect, who may have pulled the trigger in this situation here, fled in a dark colored sedan. Now back here in the alert center, no arrests have been made, so stay with us here as we continue to monitor this situation and bring you the very latest. Anthony.
All right, Ellie, thank you for that. We go now to Sheepshead Bay, where police have identified the man killed in a double shooting yesterday. Cops say 25-year-old Jamel Nicholson and a 19-year-old woman were shot at the Sheepshead Bay NYCHA development on Avenue V around 5 yesterday evening. We're told the woman had been shot in the chest, knee, and hip, and Nicholson had gunshot wounds to his chest and backside. Unfortunately, Nicholson died at a local hospital. As for the 19-year-old, we're told she is expected to recover. Police say no arrests have been made and that investigation is ongoing.
And in the efforts to stop the spread of COVID-19, some major changes for private employers and public school students who play sports.
Well, that's right. The city is lifting its COVID vaccine mandate that's been in place for nearly a year. Yeah,
we're going to send it out to News 12's John A. Caldwell, who has more on what you need to know about this. John A., good morning to you.
Yo, Aisha, Anthony, up until today, if you are a DOE student looking to play sports or just a New Yorker looking for a job in the private sector, you needed a COVID vaccination. Well, that's all changing today as the city is making the COVID shot optional. Now, Mayor Eric Adams made this announcement back in September, saying he wants to give parents and businesses more flexibility. Health Commissioner Dr. Ashwin Vasan says that since we're out of the emergency phase of the pandemic, this is the next step to get back to normalcy. Vaccines were mandated for the private sector during the height of the pandemic, and the commissioner says it served its purpose in pushing people to get vaccinated. Mayor Adams added that when it comes to COVID, it's important to shift gears as needed, and that the city will continue to lead the nation in COVID prevention by lifting mandates strategically. And as the COVID mandates are being lifted, both the mayor and commissioner are urging New Yorkers to get boosted ahead of the winter season to avoid getting sick. For now in Brooklyn Heights, John A. Caldwell, News 12.
All right, John A., thank you. Well, shots rang out last night in Brownsville as neighbors say kids were trick-or-treating. Police were at the scene on Mother Gaston Boulevard and Hedgeman Street where a witness says he heard 4 to 5 shots ring out, forcing cops to close down a portion of the boulevard for hours on end. Parents we spoke to say they are frustrated as this happened when many kids were just simply trying to enjoy Halloween.
Halloween trick-or-treating, and just insane that we can't even do that. You know, people just ignorant, and it's very dangerous around here. Like, it's crazy because I just came from down that way, and I hear this is like, I just want to go back to the house now. My kids are not even safe in this neighborhood. I'm just ready to just go.
Just so upsetting. Police say no injuries have been reported, and this is an ongoing investigation.
Well, the man accused of attacking Paul Pelosi, the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, is expected to be arraigned today on state charges. David DePape is also facing federal charges, including attempted kidnapping of a U.S. official. As we reported, DePape allegedly broke into the Pelosi household early Friday and attacked Paul Pelosi with a hammer, fracturing his skull and injuring his hands and arm. According to the federal criminal complaint, DePape said he was going to hold Nancy Pelosi hostage.
Dangerous rhetoric is something that divides our country, regrettably, and that division is itself can be a threat that our adversaries, nation states, exploit.
The House Speaker says her husband is, quote, making steady progress on what will be a long recovery process.
Well, this morning, a city corrections officer is recovering after being stabbed roughly 15 times in the head by an inmate. The city's Department of Correction tells us the attack happened yesterday afternoon at the Anna M. Cross Center on Rikers Island. It's unclear what led to the assault, but the authorities say the officer was working in the protective custody unit when the incident happened. The officer is currently undergoing tests, and DOC says the attacker has been rearrested. And the department releasing a statement condemning the attack, saying in part, this was an unprovoked, heinous, and callous attack on one of our dedicated officers who was simply doing their job. We will not tolerate any assaults on our members of service who show up to work each day to keep our jails safe.
Well, happening today, several advocates, including the Legal Aid Society, will be rallying outside the Board of Elections, demanding greater access to early voting for those that are in city jails. Advocates say with more than 88% of people incarcerated being Black and Latinx, the lack of voting access is a disenfranchisement to communities of color. That rally is set for this morning at 11.
Well, speaking of voting, the 2022 midterms are just a week away from today, and we're learning more than 21 million Americans have already voted. According to Edison Research, 21.4 million people have cast a pre-election ballot so far in 46 states. Of those early ballots casted, over 127,000 of them have come from the 5 boroughs. And you can be a part of the millions participating in early voting across the nation. Here in New York, you have until November 6th to cast that early vote. Remember that your early polling site is different than the one you visit on Election Day, so be sure to check ahead. The general election is set for, again, November 8th, which is also the deadline to return your absentee ballot. And remember to tune into News 12 on Election Night, November 8th. We'll have live coverage and results on all of the races in your neighborhood, and it all goes down at 9 p.m. after the polls close.
Well, for the past 7 years, the Brooklyn Ghost Project has been providing essential resources and support to the Black and brown trans community. But the sudden death of their co-founder has left the organization in shambles. Trans activist Latravius Collins had been running the organization's various programs and was considered by many as a mother figure. But since she passed, the new executive director says the organization has been struggling to make ends meet. She says they've been surviving on small grants so far, but getting steady funding has been a big challenge. They're now asking for help to continue providing life-saving services to the Black and brown trans community.
This organization was built upon trust and leadership and just acknowledging the fact that you can be a Black trans woman living in New York City. I don't want to let her legacy down because of what she built. And it takes a lot of funding.
Well, there will be a memorial service for Latravius Collins this Friday at the Brooklyn Community Pride Center on Bedford Avenue in Crown Heights.
Well, happening today, the next job listing you apply for here in the city should include the expected salary range. As of today, New York City will require employers with 4 or more employees, with at least one of them working in the city, to provide a pay range in all jobs. Job seekers will now be getting a much better grasp on what many employers are willing to pay.
All right, well, you still, believe it or not, have a chance at $1 billion.
Oh, can't wait to try and play. Another drawing with no winner means that Powerball jackpot is now a whopping $1.2 billion.
Keeps on climbing.
Right? It remains the second largest jackpot in Powerball history.
Even though no one won the top prize, there are New Yorkers who can claim the $2 and $1 million prizes. So be sure to check those tickets. The next Powerball drawing is tomorrow night.
All right, let's get another check on the weather. We're taking a look outside with meteorologist Hope Osewaka. How's it going, Hope?
Yeah, we're still seeing areas of fog, so definitely try to proceed with caution as you're driving on the roads. But it looks like sky conditions will gradually begin to improve by the end of the morning commute. So after 9 a.m., that's where we're starting to see visibility begin to improve. Still a cloudy sky with a few hints of sunshine, but it was a damp start this morning with those cool temps in the upper 50s to low 60s. So we're supposed to be in the upper 40s for our morning lows, but we're definitely feeling that warmer trend, and that's going to take us into this afternoon. We will be drying out, maybe seeing a few moments of sunshine, and then staying warm into Wednesday, which Wednesday is the pick of the week. Wait until you see the exclusive 10-day. But as for your what to wear forecast, you don't need the heavy coats. It's leather weather or sweater weather. You can also go with the booties as well. Highs will reach near 68 degrees. If you're thinking of taking your kids to the bus stop, or if you're walking them to the bus stop right now, you're definitely going to feel the milder feel out there with lows in the 60s. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.